Mid-Missouri County could elect a dead man as its coroner. Good evening, I'm Brittany Pieper.
And I'm Jim Rick. Thanks for joining us. Sheraton County's incumbent coroner, Larry Brashears, passed away, but his name still appears on the ballot. KOMU 8's Lee Yang was in Sheraton County today and joins us here in the studio.
Many residents told me Brashears was loved greatly in Sheridan County, but they also said they initially didn't know how his death would affect the race.
His name on plywood signs.
A similar situation happened in 2000. Missouri elected Governor Mel Carnahan to the U.S. Senate after he died in a plane crash. His wife took his position. From the studio, Lee Yang, KOMU 8 News.
Boone County voters may face a change in their polling place next Tuesday. County Clerk Wendy Noren says several of the county's 82 polling locations for 2016 have changed. We heard from a voter who says her polling place is changing for the first time in 15 years.
I'm a little worried that people are going to show up to the wrong poll on voting day because they didn't bother to look, and they're going to wait in the line until they realize they're on the wrong roll sheet and maybe be frustrated, and after they've waited in one line, not vote.
Caitlin's polling place changed from a church within walking distance to a Stevens College building twice as far away. For more information on why polling places changed and how you can find yours, visit our website at KOMU.com.
Republican gubernatorial nominee Eric Greitens is making a final push to get voters to those new polling locations in mid-Missouri. KOMU 8's Adam Pressler was at his final visit to Columbia before Tuesday, and he joins us now in the studio. Adam.
With only a few days left before the November 8th election, Eric Greitens is making one final round of campaign stops. Today, he visited Columbia to urge voters to put him and the Republican Party back in the governor's mansion.
We are excited to be right here in mid-Missouri because we know that every single vote counts in this election. And we've been here many times about the change that we can all bring to the state of Missouri.
Democratic nominee for governor Chris Koster was also on the campaign trail today. He was in Kansas City at a Get Out for the Vote event. Reporting from the studio, Adam Pressler, KOMU 8 News.
Missourians next week could put an end to mega campaign spending. Missouri has no contribution cap on state offices, unlike most other states. Amendment 2 would limit individual donations to $2,600. Proponents say limits are necessary to conduct a fair election. Opponents argue the amendment does not address contributions at the local level.
We're the only state in the union that is that open about campaign spending. We can talk about whether that's a good idea or a bad idea, but it does make us unusual.
KOMU 8 compiled a list of all Democratic and Republican candidates for state office and their view on limiting contributions. You can visit our website at KOMU.com to find that information.
The day started out a little foggy, almost misty out there this morning, but we still got a little bit of sunshine by the end of the day. Let's send it over to Kenton to see what to expect this weekend.
Brittany, thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. Slight chances for rain later in the show.
Police have identified 3 suspects involved in yesterday's bank robbery and multi-county chase ending in Montgomery City. 23-year-old Cecil Golden and 22-year-old David Franklin were arrested and charged earlier this afternoon. Authorities said a third suspect, 23-year-old Wade Sargent, died inside a house in Montgomery City yesterday. The suspects crashed into this home on Meadowcrest Street, damaging the outside brick and uprooting a bush in the front lawn. A man was living in that home. He was unharmed. One next-door neighbor told KOMU 8 News she went outside after she heard helicopters and then watched as law enforcement chased the suspects through her backyard.
As soon as he got on the ground, I mean, they were out with, the guns drawn and everything. And then we were kind of focused on that. And but then the other one had run around the house on the other side and had headed across the back of our yard. And I believe they got him way out by the back of the house by the tree.
The 2 suspects are being held in the Montgomery County Jail without bond.
After the break, a river full of controversy, and of course that river flows right through mid-Missouri.
Plus, the price of a crucial drug for diabetes treatment spikes nationwide. Hear how local families are adjusting.
For months, Native Americans and other protesters have flocked to North Dakota to protest the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline. The Standing Rock Sioux tribe claims the pipeline will poison its water supply and decimate sacred lands. A spokesperson for the pipeline says her company has gotten every necessary permit to begin construction, and the protests are unlawful. The pipeline has also spurred protests with environmentalists nationwide, including right here in mid-Missouri. The pipeline would carry an average of 470,000 barrels of crude oil every day from North Dakota to Illinois.
Now, the pipeline itself will not cross Missouri's border, but it will cut under the Missouri River upstream of the state. KOMU 8's Landon Burke weighs the benefits and potential consequences of the Dakota Access Pipeline.
It's a movement, starting softly.
Last month, the city of St. Louis passed a formal resolution to stand in solidarity with the people of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. To see a copy of that resolution for yourself, you can visit our website, KOMU.com.
Here's what's happening right now. Hundreds of clergy members have joined in the pipeline protest tonight. Earlier, protesters burned a copy of a centuries-old religious document justifying the taking of land from indigenous Americans. So far tonight, officers have not intervened.
Later in the newscast, how local families are adjusting to a steep increase in diabetes treatment. And a Columbia Film Festival is bringing more than movies to town this weekend. The life-saving drug insulin is more expensive than ever, with new data showing a 400% price increase in roughly a decade. KOMU 8's Madeline Odell spoke to one mid-Missouri family that has no choice but to pay the price.
I spoke to Deanna Phillips, a Columbia mother who wasn't surprised to see how high the price of insulin has risen. Her 19-year-old son Ethan was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was 4 years old. Phillips says she noticed the insulin was expensive, but never really knew how much the price was increasing because Ethan needed it either way. Right now, Phillips pays more than $300 for each vial of Ethan's insulin, which lasts a little more than a week, and that price might be getting harder to pay.
Every year the deductible goes up and up. And for next year, our family deductible is $4,000 plus another $2,000 for prescriptions. So potentially we could have a $6,000.
Three major companies make insulin in the U.S. Data from Truven Health Analytics shows since 2004, the manufacturer list price for insulin has gone up by triple digits percentages. Reporting in the studio, Madeline Odell, KOMU 8 News.
Tonight, a mayor's task force heard ideas on how to turn Columbia into a destination medical community. That concept, according to the task force, would attract people, investment opportunities, and jobs to the community. City officials say Columbia will also study current models of medical tourism to make the plan work.
We want to have more of a community-based focus, but I think we can learn from them because they're putting together statewide consortia of different providers and obviously doing a very good job of keeping patients in their states.
City officials say at this point it's important for providers in Columbia to start promoting different services.
The Citizen Jane Film Festival is bringing more than movies to Columbia this year. It's also bringing female entrepreneurs who say they're determined to change the number of women in film. According to the Citizen Jane website, only 2% of the top 700 films the past 7 years were made by women. We heard from a woman who created a website that shows female film credentials.
Now they can no longer give up the excuse that there aren't any qualified women because there are over 1,000 on the site.
The festival begins tomorrow and runs through Sunday.
Coming up in sports, she broke records last season and the SEC coaches think she could do it again.